Hi, everyone. I am Benjamin from English Classes Online. Good and well are common English words, and they are always similar in meaning, but they are not exactly the same, and they are not used the same way. A lot of English learners often get confused about how to use these words correctly. It is common to find some English users committing a lot of errors while using good or using bad. And so in this lesson, we are going to look at the rules for using these words correctly. And we are also going to look at some exceptions to the rules so that you will have adequate knowledge of how to use these words correctly. So this is the focus of today's lesson. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Make sure you click on the bell icon as well, because that will ensure that whenever a new video goes live on this channel, you will be notified instantly. So let's dive into the lesson right away. We want to begin with a quick look at the agenda for today's episode. We have 4 items on our agenda. Number 1, rules for using good. 2, rules for using well. 3, correcting the incorrect. And 4, exceptions to the rules. Let's begin with rules for using good. Now, the rule is simple. Use good as an adjective to describe a noun. Now, if you understand the simple rule, you will never misuse any of these words. And the rule is simple. Use good as an adjective, but use well as an adverb. Take note of these 2 rules because they are the 2 simple rules we are going to examine critically. Use good as an adjective, but use well as an adverb. We are going to look at examples. When you use good as an adjective, you are using it to describe a noun, because an adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun or a pronoun. Now, let's look at these examples. Okay, let's look at these examples. Junior is a good boy. The word good is an adjective describing boy. I had a good day. Good is an adjective describing day. I had a good night's sleep. Good is an adjective describing night's sleep. So this is how you can use the word good. Use it as an adjective when you are describing someone or something. You know, a good house, a good car, a good day, a good, anything you can describe as good. Okay? Then let's now look at other examples. Okay? Let's examine other examples. Now, in using good as an adjective, we have the following examples, all right? Let's look at the following examples. It is a good book. So here you are using the word good to describe the book. Again, you are using good as an adjective, and we will observe here that the word good has different shades of meaning, and that's what we want to examine here as well. Now, when you say it's a good book, you are saying it's a book of high quality or of an acceptable standard. Did you have a good time in Dubai? You are asking whether the fellow had a pleasant or enjoyable time. All right? That's a good idea. When you describe an idea as good, or you are saying that someone is making a good point, you are describing that as sensible or logical, something that makes sense. A good idea, a sensible idea. Ken is good at playing piano. When you are good at doing something, it means you are skillful in doing it. So good here is describing your being able to do something, your ability, your skill. That's exactly what the word good is describing here. Now, the book had good reviews. Now, good reviews. Good here describe reviews. When a book has good reviews, the book has favorable or positive feedback. All right? So the meaning of good here is favorable or positive. Ruth tried to lead a good life. So this is now describing good behavior or behavior that is morally right. Ruth tried to lead a good life, a morally upright life, okay? So that's the meaning of good here. Ray was very good to me when I was ill. You know, the meaning of good here is kind. Ray was kind to me when I was ill. So you find different meanings of good. But one thing is that the word good, has a positive meaning, but different shades of meaning depending on what you are describing. Then I am good here. The meaning is healthy. And usually it is always spoken in response to the question, how are you? And someone says, I am good. It means I am healthy. So the meaning of good here is simply healthy, okay? So that is exactly the way it is. Let's now move on to look at other important aspects of this topic. But here we want to look at adjectives that can replace good in sentences. That's what we are going to look at. All right? Now, the word good is often used in a general sense. And some scholars have argued that the word good has been so frequently used that sometimes it tends to lose its value. And sometimes we use good to describe something, and then the description becomes rather ambiguous because the word good can, have different shades of meaning. For example, if you say good food, the question is, which aspect of the food are you trying to describe? Is it the quality of being safe, or is it the taste you are describing? All right? So if you are describing the taste of the food, you can use a more specific adjective like delicious, okay? But if you are talking about the safety, then you can talk about safety. Or edible, something that is eatable, is good to be eaten, can be described as edible. All right, so there are different, more precise replacements for good or very good. For example, if we are talking about the taste of the food, We could even say that the food is tasty. All right, that the food is tasty. Then let's look at the word good advice. Now, good advice could be replaced with the more precise word useful. Useful advice. If you describe a book as good, a good book, you know, sometimes you start wondering the type of book that has been described as good, because in the first place there are different types of book. Let's say you are describing a novel is a type of book, right? So if you are describing a novel, yes, you can describe the novel as fascinating, but you can also describe the novel as thrilling. You can describe it as absorbing, and you can also describe it as interesting. All right? Yes. Now, what if you are describing a different type of book, such as an academic book? Sometimes you may rather be talking of how informative the book is. Informative. Okay, that could be the more precise description for an academic book. So the word good can become vague in meaning. It can, it can pose some ambiguities. It can raise the issue of ambiguity, that you don't know exactly what meaning you are referring to. Are you saying that the book is a fascinating novel, or in terms of its volume, in terms of its the content, So when you talk of precision, there are a lot of adjectives that can give you a more precise description of something than simply saying that something is good. Now, let's look at other examples. When you look at the word movie, and you describe the movie as a good movie, well, it could be more precise to say it is an exciting or an entertaining movie. Or when you are talking of a good trip, you can be more precise by describing the trip as pleasant or enjoyable. Okay? Now, when you look at, if you are describing a boy, for example, and you simply say a good boy, again, somebody raises the question, is it in terms of his moral behavior? Then you can say a well-behaved boy. Is it in terms of his being obedient to his parents? Then you can say an obedient boy. Is it in terms of his physical looks, that you can describe him as a good-looking boy or a handsome boy? There are different adjectives that can precisely describe the aspects of the boy that you are talking about. So the word good can be vague, and so that is why we are looking for more precise replacements for good or very good. Okay, so that, having said that, let's now look at other areas. Okay, now that brings us now to a different segment, and that the rules for using well. We are through with looking at the grammatically correct ways of using the word good. Now we want to look at the rules for using well. And in this case, we are looking at the rule we have already hinted at. Use well as an adverb. And when you use well as an adverb, you are using the word to describe an action, precisely an action verb. And then you are referring to the action of doing something correctly. That is what well really means. So let's now look at some examples. Ada writes well. You see, the word well here is an adverb because writes is a verb. Ada writes well. This is a verb. So because this is an adverb, it is describing the verb. Henry speaks well. Then the word speaks is also a verb. Henry speaks well. Uncle Sam drives well. Okay? And so the word drive is also an action verb. Then other examples. The children behaved well. You can see that the word well, behaved is also an action verb. And well here simply means in a good or an acceptable way. The children behaved in a good or an acceptable way. Or you can say the children behaved acceptably. Okay? Then another example, add the apple juice and mix well. The word well here describes the action verb mix. And the meaning here is thoroughly or completely, the meaning of well. So you can say add the apple juice and mix thoroughly or mix completely. So the meaning of well here is the meaning of the adverb thoroughly or the adverb completely. Uncle Dan liked Rose well enough. Well enough here means to a reasonable extent. Uncle Dan liked Rose to a reasonable extent. So these are ways in which you can use the word well, but the bottom line is that whenever you want to use the word well, make sure you are using it as an adverb and not as an adjective. Okay? So let's now look at the common errors that people always commit when they use these words. And we want to look at how people use the word good, and they use this like an adverb. That makes it incorrect. This is the source of the common errors that people commit when they use good or well. If you use good as an adverb, it is grammatically incorrect. If you use well as an adjective, it is grammatically incorrect. If you use good as an adjective, it is grammatically correct. If you use well as an adverb, it is grammatically correct. So let's look at this error here. Junior writes good. We see? So the word good is an adjective and the word writes is a verb. So this is the reason for this error. Let's really analyze this, okay? When you look at the word write, okay, it is a verb. And you look at the word good, it is an adjective. So when you are using an adjective to describe a verb, then it becomes incorrect. That is why it is incorrect, basically. That is why it is incorrect. Okay? It is incorrect. Junior writes good. It's incorrect. But if you use the adverb to describe the verb, which is its grammatical function, then it is correct. Junior writes well. Why is it correct? Because we already said that well is a verb. And then, I mean that writes is a verb. And then, well is an adverb. And what is the implication of this? It implies that an adverb is suitable for describing a verb. After all, the word adverb simply means adds meaning to a verb. That's what an adverb is. So when you use an adverb to perform its grammatical function, then you get a correct sentence. When you use an adjective to perform an ungrammatical function, a function that doesn't belong to it, then you get an incorrect sentence. So this is the source of the errors that people commit when they use good and well. Okay? Now, having said that, let's now move quickly to our last item on our agenda, and that is exceptions to the rules. To every rule, there is an exception or some exceptions. Okay? So here we want to look at the exceptions. Okay? Now, good and well can both be used after state of being verbs. So this is what provides us exceptions to the rules. Now, a state of being verb is a linking verb. All right? A verb like feel is a state of being verb, a verb that describes a state of being, not an action. So when you use good with such a verb, it is correct. And if you use well with such a verb, it is also correct. And in this case, you are using each of them as an adjective, all right? And it is actually describing someone, how someone feels, okay? Okay, so it is correct to say, I feel good right now. I feel good right now. In this case, you are describing your emotions. I feel good right now. It is also correct to say, I feel well right now. But when you use well, you are describing your health. If you use good, you are describing your feelings, your emotions. I feel good right now. I feel excited. But then when you use well, you are describing health. Now take note that in both sentences, good and well are used as adjectives. This is one instance in which well can be used as an adjective, but only with a state of being verb. All right? And this is also one instance in which an adjective is used with a type of verb. In other instances, you can only use an adjective to describe a noun, okay, directly. And you say a good boy, a good house, a good book, good piece of music, good advice, you know, good behavior, and so on and so forth. And good always comes before the noun it describes. But this is an exceptional case. I feel good right now. So these are exceptions to the rules. And then we have instances of the informal use of good, all right, especially in American English. A situation where someone, in response to the question, how is it going, we simply say pretty good, right? Pretty good. This is used in informal situations and in some particularly non-standard situations, you find someone saying, listen to me and listen good. This is a non-standard usage. Of course, these are not recommended to be used in formal situations. Well, and this is where we draw the curtain on today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, make sure that you like this video and share the video with your friends and relatives. If you are new to this channel and you have enjoyed this lesson, it's just appropriate, it is proper that you kindly subscribe to the channel, because that is the only way you can really give me the needed support. I need your support, because when we create content, it takes a lot of time and effort, and we do this and we do it free of charge to our viewers. So subscribing to the channel is one way of giving your support to English classes online, so that we will be able to create more videos that will be of help to more people. Now, having said that, make sure you click on the bell icon as well, so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified instantly, so you won't lose a new video that I upload. Now, it might interest you to know that we also upload videos on content creation, content marketing, because we believe and we know that language is a very powerful tool for creating content. And when you create content, then you can market content and create multiple streams of income for yourself. So if this resonates with you, make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure you activate the notification bell. I have a free PDF ebook on the basic units of English grammar. If you are interested in that, click on that link and download the ebook free of charge. There are other ebooks such as Good Success in English, a complete study package for effective English learning. If you are interested in any of those ebooks, simply click on it and you'll be able to grab a copy for yourself. You might want to visit our website on www.englishclassesonline.com.ng. All right, so you will find a lot of free resources that will be of help to you in your desire to achieve proficiency in the English language. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. I want to say a big thank you to all of you out there for being part of our online community and for always tuning in. I look forward to seeing you in the next broadcast. Goodbye for now and remain blessed.